Michelle, and thank you for joining me here on Sassy Suave. And this is my moment of me, my health, and I. And I want to talk to you about forgiveness. In my last segment, I told you I was going to talk to you about the 12 steps of forgiveness. I am so excited to talk to you. It is my pleasure. I love talking to you, and I love helping people. But before I go on, I want to thank two people who helped me to make this video possible. And the music that you heard in the intro, that's by multi-platinum producer Shorty B. I want to thank him for producing that music for me. I love it. And the person that helped me to edit these videos is Chuck Charles Armstrong. He's phenomenal. I love working with these two gentlemen. And if you would like to connect with them or get any music for any production that you're doing, a video you're doing, hit me up at drdocms@gmail.com. That's drdocms@gmail.com, and I'll be sure to get them your information. Please subscribe to my channel, leave me a message. You know, talking to you is such a pleasure for me and helping people. I gave my story of being violated by my uncle in my last segment, and the abuse that takes place in my family, how it's a generational curse. And you know, forgiveness just frees you. So I want to talk to you about the 12 steps of forgiveness. I gave 4 in my last segment, but first I want to say that, you know, the Word of God says, if you forgive men their trespasses, your Father who is in heaven will forgive you your trespasses. But if you do not forgive men their trespasses, then your Father which is in heaven will not forgive you your trespasses. And the one thing I would say is that there's some point in our lives that we all have a need for forgiveness or to be forgiven. You know, we may do things or get hurt where we really do have a need to forgive. No one can change the past, but you have the power at this very moment to see it from a different point of view. You know, we have to see our past from a different perspective. The journey of forgiveness requires you to have 2 things: a good memory and a clear awareness of the offense that took place, that you remember. Forgiving is not forgetting. Just because you forgive someone or you forgive an offense don't mean you're talking about you're going to forget it. Because some things in your lives you will never forget. Especially if someone has violated you or caused you some great trauma, you're not going to forget it. But you don't have to stay there. You don't have to. Forgiving doesn't mean that you have to reestablish a relationship or even establish one. Doesn't mean that you have to have a relationship with the person that offended you or hurt you. And as I stated, there will always be a place of forgiveness. But understand this: no one escapes the possibility of having pain, frustration, problems, betrayal. All of these things will take place. And as long as you live and as long as you get into a relationship, I don't care if it's a friendship, a work relationship, a marital relationship, a business relationship, you always have the possibility of experiencing some type of hurt, some type of betrayal. I know I certainly have. I've been in business with individuals who I believe have backstabbed me and tried to tear my business down. We lost business, we lost friendship. And you lose a lot. You lose a lot when offense take place. At some point in our lives, we all have a need or a position where we need to be forgiven. But let me tell you another thing. You experience the hurt and the pain that you go through, and there's a story in that. Judge Judy have a book out titled Be the Hero of Your Own Story. You are the hero of your own story. And what you're going through, it is for a purpose. You have a story in that. In my tragedy, the things that I experienced, out of that, I wrote 2 books. I wrote one book, a 31-day journal for women titled High Heels and Lipstick. I'm sorry, that was the back, this is the front. High Heels and Lipstick, 31-day journal for women. You can find this book on Amazon.com. And this is a book of inspiration and healing for wholeness from past hurts and pain for women. Then I wrote a 31-day journal for men titled Bootstraps and Bow Ties. This will be out come 2017. Woo woo. And this too is a 31-day journal for men. This is to help. To help. Journaling is an awesome tool of healing. You know, when you write down what's going on, you release it, you free yourself. And so out of my story and out of my pain came high heels and lipstick for women and bootstraps and bow ties for men. And I'm so excited. Many people suffer from living with constant resentment. You know, I have a cousin that contacted me when we were younger. She would call around and she would be trying to get in contact with me. She would call my mom. She would call other relatives who she thought could get her in contact with me, and they would never give her my number. And because they wouldn't give her my number, you know, she would be very angry. She would always act like she wanted to fight me, and she'd be cussing them out. And I never understood, you know, why she was acting in such a manner, because I really didn't know her. We don't have a relationship. I'm almost 30 years older than she is. So one day I called my cousin and I had to talk to her, and I asked her, I said, this is your cousin, this is Michelle, and I want to know what it is that's going on. Why are you trying to get in contact with me? But I prayed before I called her because I knew she would want to argue. And my cousin told me that her father had been raping her from the time she was 8 years old up until she was 16. And she was trying to get in contact with me because someone told her that I could help her. And I thought that was so awesome. But what I also thought was, because she didn't have an opportunity to release her anger, to get healed, I understood that I was her place of healing, because she wanted to know answers. She wanted answers of why her father did that. Her father is the same uncle that raped me, who raped his son, who also raped one of his stepdaughters. And talking to her, I understood her pain. I could identify with her. The 12 steps of forgiveness, as I told you, I stated in my last segment, the 4 steps. I want to go over with you the 12 steps of forgiveness because it's just so awesome. I don't want people to get healed. I don't want people to be happy in their lives. You know, hurt and pain, it holds you back from a lot of things. Step number 1, recognize and accept the fact that you are angry. That's something we don't do. You know, when you see people who have chip on their shoulder, you walk around angry, that spirit takes on a personality of its own. And you're ready to lash out at the first person who hurt you or say something wrong. I know I was always on defense. Step number 2 is grieve what you have lost because of the offense. You have to grieve that people don't understand. A lot of people don't. Some people understand. But I know when I was violated, I lost my virginity at such a young age. I lost the opportunity to have true friendship with my cousins. I lost trust. I lost an uncle who I trusted. And you have to be mad about it. You truly have to be mad about it. Step number 3, put blame where it belongs. Don't be afraid to state that who or what offended you, that you're mad at them. You know, in my last video, I've told you, sometimes you have to confront the offender. You have to confront the person that hurt you, that abused you, misused you, mistreated you. You have to confront them. And if that person have transitioned, I tell people, get in front of a mirror and call that person by their name and tell them what they have done to you. Free yourself. Step number 4, don't keep silent. Tell someone about the offense. Tell someone your story. You have to free yourself. This helps you to deal with what has happened emotionally. It takes the opportunity for you to begin, for healing to begin. Tell somebody, do not keep silent. Number 5, accept the fact that you are angry and you want revenge. That's right. You have to accept the fact that you are angry and that you want revenge. I was a very vengeful person. I wanted revenge. Anybody that hurt me, I was determined. I'm going to get revenge. I will plot and I will plan. I'm going to get revenge. But that's not what you really want. Revenge. And it's so sad because people, in getting revenge, you have this stuff bottled up on the inside of you. My way of getting revenge is doing exactly what I'm doing. Coming on here and telling other people how to get help. Telling people how to get healed. Helping you to release what it is. Helping you to forgive. This is my way of getting revenge. Because I'm happy now. Forgiving, releasing the individual, released me. Because I know now that it was not me. Number 6, forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself. Sometimes we take on blame for what other people have done to us, and they will make you believe it's your fault. But you cannot be emotionally tied to other people's decisions. When I was a young girl, when I really first started hearing about men raping women, I was also told that one of the reasons men raped women was because of the way they was dressed. They had dressed seductively. And they may have dressed seductively. Their dressing may have enticed you. But there are boundaries. There are boundaries, and you don't cross those boundaries. And just because someone decided they want to dress sexy and look appealing, that doesn't cause anyone to cross the line. So you have to forgive yourself. You can't take blame for what someone else do. Step number 7, understand your offender. Whoa. Understand your offender? Yes. Try to understand your offender. I know that's hard, but getting a clearer view of their makeup. But I think about my uncle, and I think about my aunt and my grandmother. I think about generational curses. You would find people who are abusive. Say you find a young man who's abusive. Most likely he saw that behavior. If you find a young man who grows up in a home where his dad is abusing his mom, he sees that, he gonna think it's okay. That's how he's supposed to treat a woman. If you find a young lady, because men are not the only ones who abuse people, you may find a young lady who grew up in a house where her mom was very disrespectful, her mom was abusive. Most likely she's gonna take on some of those traits. She's gonna become abusive. So you have to try to understand the offender. Do you have to accept it? Absolutely not. You don't have to accept their behavior, but you have to try to understand. Number 8, try to make sense of the offense that took place in your life. Let me see if I can give you my best explanation of that. Try to make sense of the offense that took place in your life. For my uncle, I was at his house. I was easy prey. I was young. My aunt, I was very young, so I was defenseless. A lot of times you'll find people who hurt younger children because they can't defend themselves. And I couldn't defend myself in either case. With my aunt, I couldn't defend myself when she would want to come over and want to fight me. But when I got older and I could fight back, then she began to involve my cousins, my female cousins, which was so unfortunate because my cousins and I never had an opportunity to even build a relationship. And my aunt would want to try to set us up to fight each other. And my mom, who taught us how to love, taught us that wasn't the way we were supposed to treat family. So you have to try to make sense of the offense that took place in your life. And to this very day, my cousins and I don't have a relationship. It is unfortunate because in my family, we all have the DNA of entrepreneurship. Most of my female cousins have their own business. I have my own business. And we can't come together and support each other. And I really wish we could. And prayerfully one day we will when something changes. But to God be the glory, He understands. God knows where we are. God knew what would take place. Step number 9, recognize that you are worthy of forgiveness and have been forgiven. That's right. Only those who have experienced forgiveness knows how to knows how to forgive, or can forgive and help someone else forgive. Those who have been hurt and have healed can help someone else heal. Step number 10, stop trying so hard to forgive. You know, I had a young lady who used to work for me, and she grew up in a foster home. She grew up being abused by her uncles and her cousins, and she was mad at her dad because she did not feel like her dad protected her. And I can understand where she came from. You know, when my uncle violated me, I didn't tell anyone until I was in my 30s. And by the time, I never told my dad. My dad found out when my uncle came and sat me and my dad down, and he apologized to me and he apologized to my dad. This is the day my dad found out what happened to me. And my dad said, if I had have told him, he would be in jail today because he would have killed my uncle. And I realized at that moment, I saved the lives of two people. One, I saved my dad from going to jail for murder, and I saved my uncle's life. Was it a good thing I kept what happened to me, that experience? Probably not. But it was a good thing that I did not cause my dad to go to jail for murder, because I love my dad, and I'm glad to know that he would have protected me. And I would expect that I have 4 brothers. I expect my 4 brothers to protect me. Step number 11. Open up to the grace of forgiveness. That's right. When you forgive, the inner man becomes empty of all that hate and frustration and anger and bitterness. Your body begins to heal. You begin to get peace and love and joy. And when you open up to the grace of forgiveness, you allow your body and your whole inner being to receive divine love. You prepare yourself to receive the source of love and forgiveness. The Bible says that when a house is swept clean, when all the spirits leave, they travel around in dry land looking and roaming for a place to come and house, and they come back to the house that they left. And if that house is empty, they come back 7 times stronger. But if you empty yourself out and begin to be filled up with love and joy and happiness and peace, there is no room for bitterness and anger and hatred. Step number 12. Decide whether or not you want to be in a relationship with your offender. Just because you forgive someone doesn't mean that you have to be in a relationship with them. It doesn't mean that you have to reestablish a relationship. I knew that I would never have a relationship with my aunt. I would never have a relationship with my uncle. And at 16, I decided to never have a relationship with my grandmother. I decided I would never step foot in my grandmother's house again, because I wanted to separate myself from the abuse. And you have to do that. You have to take back your power. You have to begin to reposition yourself. And I did that. And I'm excited. I'm happy for that. So you have to decide whether or not you want to be in a relationship with the offender or with the person that violated you. That's your decision. That's the power you have. And I love the story that Mordecai told Esther. He says, how do you not know that you wasn't born for a time such as this? Your experience was not just for you, but it was for someone else, for you to help someone else heal and get delivered from their past hurt and pain. So don't hold on to your story, tell it to somebody, because you were truly divine and set on this earth to help someone else. Thank you for joining me. I pray that those 12 steps helped you and the information I gave helped you. Please look for me in my next segment of Taking the Leap of Faith. Please subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to leave me a message. DRDOCMS, Dr. MS at gmail.com. Love you.